Kingdom of Jerusalem had rallied its full might. From across its holdings, an army of 9,200 Crusader warriors assembled under the blazing sun, determined to defend the sacred lands of Christendom. Among them rode the revered orders of the Templars and Hospitallers, knights known for their unwavering faith and unmatched skill in battle. Supporting them were companies of seasoned archers, crossbowmen, and devout pilgrims wielding axes and spears, all ready to fight for the Holy Land. In the distance, hidden among the shifting sand dunes, the Saracens of the Fatimid Caliphate stood watchful. With a force of 11,600 strong, they brought together a versatile and highly mobile army. It was a blend of swift light cavalry, disciplined archers, and fierce melee warriors. Their aim was clear: to expel the Crusaders from the lands they claimed as their own. As the armies neared, the tension was tangible. A haze of dust rose with the steady march of the Crusaders. Soon, the first shots rang out. The crossbowmen of Jerusalem advanced and loosed a storm of bolts, initiating the skirmishing phase. Their deadly accuracy began to tell, cutting down Saracen archers and forcing the enemy to respond under fire. The second rank of Crusader archers moved up, forming a solid line of suppressive fire. Behind them, the heavy infantry advanced to close the distance and support their ranged brethren. The tide of this early exchange began to favor Jerusalem. Encouraged by their success, the army pressed forward toward the Fatimid positions. But just as they seemed poised to dominate, a swift detachment of light Arabian cavalry charged from the dunes, targeting the exposed archers. The surprise attack sent waves of panic through the lines, but the Templar knights responded immediately, galloping in to intercept. Pilgrim spearmen, grim and resolute, joined them in the defense. The Saracen cavalry was driven back, but before returning to their formation, they wheeled around and struck at another unit of archers, exploiting the chaos. A horn sounded through the battlefield, Jerusalem's signal for aid. The Hospitaller knights surged forward, intercepting the horsemen before further damage could be done. Despite some losses among the bowmen, the second attack was crushed. As the sun crept toward its zenith, the Crusaders prepared for a coordinated charge. The Templar and Hospitaller knights gathered on the left flank. With steel flashing and war cries soaring, they slammed into the Saracen lines, tearing through them with brutal force. Alarmed, the Fatimid general quickly diverted his cavalry from the left to bolster his weakening right. In doing so, the Jerusalem knights found themselves surrounded. The Hospitallers fought to relieve them, but the flanking maneuver had stretched them thin. response, the Crusader infantry pressed forward, hoping to capitalize on the momentum and shift the battle in their favor. Still, the knights were dangerously isolated. With no reinforcements in reach and enemy cavalry closing in, they were forced to retreat, though not without having inflicted severe damage on the Saracen left. Sensing opportunity, the Crusaders launched a bold assault on the now weakened enemy right. The battle was escalating. Jerusalem's heavy infantry pushed into the fray, aiming to deliver a decisive blow. Their assault was fierce and relentless, but the Fatimid line, though shaken, held firm. On the left, Jerusalem's spearmen managed to fend off renewed cavalry charges, refusing to give ground. Saracen archers continued to target the Crusader flanks, hoping to weaken their defenses before another cavalry charge. But the Crusaders reinforced their lines with more pilgrim spearmen and rained arrows back upon the enemy. On the far right, the Fatimid general's elite bodyguard launched a fierce push against the crossbowmen, threatening to breach the Crusader formation. Once more, the Templar knights thundered into action, cutting through the advancing cavalry and scattering the enemy's elite ranged units. With their momentum undeterred, the Templars wheeled back and surrounded the Fatimid general's guards, crushing them in a deadly pincer. Now, the turning point had arrived. On the left flank, the Saracens attempted one last desperate push, but Jerusalem's spearmen met them with iron resolve. With both enemy flanks secured and their cavalry diminished, the Crusader army tightened the noose around the Fatimid force. Realizing they were surrounded, panic erupted within the Saracen ranks. Discipline broke down, and men began fleeing in all directions. What followed was a devastating rout. The retreating Saracen forces were hunted down, many falling as they tried to escape. The battlefield, once a place of hope and determination, became a grim tableau of defeat for the Fatimid Caliphate. Victory belonged to the Kingdom of Jerusalem. The Crusader army, battered yet triumphant, began its march back to the Holy City, knowing that for now, the sacred land remained in their hands.